Welcome to our Wednesday devotional. Our passage today is Mark 12, verses 8 through 27. Please listen as I read the word. Then the Sadducees, who say there is no resurrection, came to him with a question. "Teacher," they said, "Moses wrote for us that if a man's brother dies and leaves a wife but no children, the man must marry the widow and raise up offspring for his brother. Now there were 7 brothers. The first one married and died without leaving any children. The second one married and widowed, but he also died, leaving no child. It was the same with the third. In fact, none of the 7 left any children. Last of all, the woman died too. At the resurrection, whose wife will she be, since the 7 were married to her?" Jesus replied, "Are you not in error because you do not know the Scriptures or the power of God? When the dead rise, they will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like angels in heaven. Now about the dead rising, have you not read in the book of Moses, in the account of the burning bush, how God said to him, 'I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob'? He is not the God of the dead, but of the living. You are badly mistaken." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. In this passage, we read about the Sadducees questioning Jesus once again. In seminary, I had a professor who, in describing the difference between Sadducees and Pharisees, said, "The Sadducees are sad, you see, because they don't believe in the resurrection." This passage here is the one that she was talking about. All of us have questions about the resurrection. We want to know exactly how it will work, how our bodies will be, what will happen with our loved ones. We want to have hope in the resurrection, but it's really hard to not think of what the particulars might look like. Here in this passage, Jesus is responding to the Sadducees by letting them know that they're missing the point. It's not so much the mechanics of how resurrection happens that's important. Instead, it is recognizing that God is a God of life, a God that gives life, and that we have hope in the resurrection. As we go through this Easter season, may we embrace that hope of the resurrection now and always. And no matter what that resurrection looks like for us, we know that God is a God of the living. God is a God that provides us with hope and reminds us that there is hope in the resurrection. I invite you to pray. Dear God, help us to see the hope that is in the resurrection. No matter how that looks, let us embrace faith and know that you are with us, that you are a God of the living. Continue to guide us, O God. Amen. As we live our lives, we are reminded that God is a God of hope, a God of life, a God that calls us to live in the hope of the resurrection. As you go through this week, may you embrace that hope and find ways of expressing that hope to others.